some weeks.
We're rusty. Welcome back to Girls Gone Spooky.
Yay, we're back.
Season 2, episode 3.
Yeah. Number 3.
I'm Olivia.
Oh, and I'm Amy.
We're going to start actually introducing ourselves again, you guys.
I think that's probably a good idea. So you know the voices.
Yeah, exactly. The grating, annoying one is mine. The sweet one is Amy.
Yours is not grating or annoying. Oh. We've both been told that we should read audiobooks or
that's true.
Meditation tapes in my case.
You're right. For me, it's now children's books. My sister-in-law, when we were on vacation, was like, I was reading a book to my nephew and she fell asleep.
Aw, how sweet.
She was like, you should really read children's audiobooks. I was like, I am flattered.
That'd be a great career.
I love it. Right?
Why
How
not?
fun would that be? Mm-hmm. I definitely put on a voice when I do it, but yeah, that would be super fun.
Yeah.
Still. Okay, guys. Well, we've missed each other and we've definitely missed you too. Yes. We are continuing with our summery theme, given the countdown to spooky season is like, it's on. It's on like Donkey Kong, y'all. It's on. So we're just wringing out the summer washcloth. And we're thinking like, we talked, campsites. And what was the first one we did? Ships. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So now we're doing hotels. And I know we've done hotels before, but we're honing in a specific region, which is East Coast of the United States.
Yes.
So, and there are a lot.
I was just going to say, there are some good ones.
Wow. Really good ones.
Creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So is it me
who went first
today?
Last time? I think so.
I can't really remember.
Let's say yes. Let's say it's you first because I'm excited to hear yours.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I was waiting before recording today. I just kept adding to this, so
I love it. Yes, more content.
Get too long. We'll see how it goes. So, yes, East Coast haunted hotels. Today I have from 2 states. One is the Tippy Top in Maine. And
I was hoping you'd do Maine.
Yeah, there's some good ones.
I feel like that's so good.
And there are some from nearly the bottom in Georgia.
Yes.
So, the first one is sort of brief. It is the Kennebunk Inn in Kennebunk, Maine. And the inn was built in 1799, which makes it 223 years old. Like, Jesus. Unbelievable.
Wow.
It was a private residence for somebody named Phineas Cole. And as you can imagine, with a history that long, there have been a lot of owners over the years who also just lived in it as a house. But in 1928, it was converted into an inn. And it was first known as the Tavern, but now in modern day, it's the Kennebunk Inn. So the owners right before the current owners, Angela LeBlanc and her partner, who is not named in the article I was reading, they went into ownership of the inn not knowing about its history, including being unaware that maybe it was haunted. But they grew...
Yo, what a rude awakening that was.
Can you imagine?
Like, well, literally, Amy was just talking about, like, I lived in a lodge.
Yeah.
Shows up, she's haunted as fuck.
I hope I would be able to tell before sealing the deal, but yikes.
I would be so pleased. I would move in. I'd be like, all right, great, well, I'm a resident.
Yeah, it seems like they do good business because people are drawn to haunted places.
People love that shit.
Why not?
Right.
That would
Quick
be better.
tangent. Quick tangent. I was talking to a coworker today who was like, oh, right, you do that like spooky podcast. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, do you have listeners? I was like, yeah. And he was like, how do they find you? I was like, I think they literally type spooky into the search bar and we come up.
Yep.
So if you're not relatives and that's not how you do it, let us know. Because actually, I'm
Yeah.
really curious.
I know. Girls gone searching for girls. We'd come
Or
up.
Girls Gone. I mean, but if you were
Gone
gonna say
Girl.
like girls or like Girls Gone Wild, if you were gonna
Yeah.
type that, then why? How would you get pulled off track? You know, just
Yeah.
this far. Like you're
Uh-huh.
going pretty far off track.
Yeah. Yeah, we're
Goodness.
not similar. That's
Okay,
true.
I'm so sorry. So
Funny. No,
they
that's
got
okay.
the place. It's haunted as shit.
Yes, they didn't know. But the thing that made them suspicious was that the waitress they hired in the hotel bar told them that she just could not bring herself to go into the basement because she felt such a strong presence down there that wasn't
Oh,
a person. And
I don't love
this
it.
waitress, she considered herself to be a bit of a psychic. And so she was getting all these messages or whatever of the name Cyrus attached to
Mm.
this presence in the basement. So after that, they looked into the history of the hotel more and they found that the original night watchman slash caretaker of the inn was named Silas Perkins. So
Oh,
the waitress heard Cyrus, but it's very close to Silas.
whoa!
Yeah,
How
who
weird.
it is weird. So she was pretty close to spot on, and they think now, of course, that Silas is probably the presence there.
Yeah.
Um, Particularly because he did die in the hotel. He was in his 80s, and his presence there is not at all bad, but he does like to do certain things to make himself known.
Mm. Okay.
Um, like when one of the cleaning staff was cleaning a room, excuse me, the TV kept turning off and then on again.
Mm.
So she unplugged it, but then it turned on again. So that just like defies physics. I don't know how that works.
I kind of love it.
Yeah, he just tried to watch TV. Like, just let me watch my
It's like,
programs.
let me watch my shows, please.
Yeah.
What do old people call soaps? Is it my programs?
I think so.
Yeah, maybe it is.
That's what my grandma and my mom call shows is
It's so cute.
programs. So
I love it.
I
Okay,
thought
we'll go
maybe.
with it.
Not that my mom is old. I know she listens
No,
to
she's
this.
not.
But
I meant like
yeah.
older,
Right.
old, not like old.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stop digging this hole and let
Yeah.
you continue. Oh
Okay, so
God.
he's watching his programs.
Okay.
Anyway, another time, the former owner, Angela, she was sitting at the hotel bar and she watched three mugs, she said, levitate off of the shelf and hit the bartender on the back of the head. And she said,
Ow.
yeah, I know. She said, that made a believer out of me. Just like, yeah, I think that
Oh
should do it
shit.
for anyone. So,
Right.
yeah, I don't know.
She's like, either that or I'm having a stroke. It's
Right.
kind of TBD.
Who knows? But yeah, that's that for the Kennebunk Inn.
Mm-hmm.
So now this one I have a lot more, so we can like really soak up the story. So
Yes.
it's also in Maine, and it's the Marsh Edwards House in Dicksfield, Maine, which became known as the Weld Street Inn. But they went in.
Dicksfield.
I know. I was thinking that the whole time, but then I was thinking of the
Dicksfield.
name. I was thinking of the name Dixie, and like, if you know
Mm.
somebody named Dixie, do you call them Dix as a nickname? Or,
Probably.
and then you just don't even really think of it because it's just
Also,
DIX.
would it be if your name is Dixie? Because you know how like the Dixie Chicks changed to the Chicks because it was like a reference to like antebellum South. Do
Yeah.
you think that and like Lady A, it was Lady
Hmm.
Antebellum, Lady A. Do you think if
Yeah.
your name's Dixie, you get like roasted?
I wonder.
Because
It's possible.
it's not like it's short for like Dixina. You know
No,
what I mean? It's like,
it's
it's just
just
Dixie.
Dixie. Yeah.
And it literally comes from that.
From, yeah,
So
Dixieland. Yeah, true.
just a field of Dick's Maine. Great.
Yeah,
I'm a
Dicksfield,
child. I'm
Maine.
so sorry.
That's all right. That's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for.
So, what did I say? Oh, yeah, they went to foreclosure in 2021, so you cannot
Mhm.
stay there anymore, but they have a
Okay.
great story. So, the house was built in 1881, and the Marsh family and others inhabited it for 100 years before it became a bed and breakfast in the 1980s.
Mm-hmm.
Before they went into foreclosure, this property was listed on Airbnb. So I want to read the description
Oh
they
my
had
God.
of the
Yes.
house because I actually found on Airbnb a list of haunted places that you can rent, which I thought was so cool that they did that themselves.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So
I'm going to
that
look that
was,
up next time I travel.
I know.
Not alone, because I'm not a
No,
psycho,
no,
but,
with someone
well,
could be
I am a
fun.
psycho, but that's not why. And not in that way.
Yeah, right.
Hmm.
She's a
Anyway,
fanatic, a
she's a
supernatural
fanatic. Listen,
fanatic.
she's passionate.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so here's the description. They wrote activity recorded on the property includes a little boy playing in the second floor kitchen, a lady walking around outside, mysterious music being played at all hours, and the big man in the hallway.
Okay.
That's enough. That's enough for
That's
me.
that's
I
that
don't
on
want
that.
that. Mm-hmm.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
The big man?
Mm-hmm.
Is he wearing a hat, perchance?
Oh, creepy. I didn't even think of that.
I can't not think of that. I mean,
Mm.
really, like those episodes haunt my dreams.
Yeah.
Go back to season one.
Yep.
If you don't know what we're talking
Uh-huh.
about, we
Yeah.
discussed the Hat Man and Shadow People in
Oh God.
great detail and scared
Yes.
ourselves.
Yeah.
And it didn't like your lights flicker or something and we like nearly shit ourselves.
Probably. I don't
Something
know.
stupid.
Always having technological issues, so
Mm.
who knows? But that is interesting that you say that because the Hat Man is the sleep paralysis one, right?
It can be. So he's thought to be like a shadow person, but he's
Okay.
also thought to be like just a demonic entity that is like pretty common in terms of like haunting people. Not haunting, but like tormenting people.
Okay. Got it. So,
But yes, he is a sleep paralysis demon too.
okay. Interesting. Well, we'll keep that in
Oh
mind.
God. Oh God.
So,
Where's this going?
we'll see. So, okay. The reason that I chose this one to go into great detail is because I found an article from Bustle written by a reporter who stayed the night there and she took part
Mhm.
in a ghost hunt.
Oh, cute.
And her name is Lucia or Lucia, maybe Peters,
Mm.
and she stayed there in 2018. And as part of her article, she interviewed the inn's then owner, Anne Marie Cook. And Cook says that she has always been a believer in the supernatural, but she genuinely had no idea about the inn's paranormal history before she bought
Mhm.
it. She never lived there. She didn't even live in Dicksfield. And she only came and went while the house was undergoing improvements. But every
Okay.
time she visited and went into town, people would ask her, "Hey, how are the ghosts doing?" So
Ah.
everyone was in the
Okay.
loop except her.
Jesus.
Yeah. So when the inn finally opened after the repairs, excuse me. God, sorry.
Clear your throat,
I
Amy.
didn't
For
even
fuck's sake.
I didn't even tell you that earlier this week or last week, I guess, I thought that I had COVID again. So
No.
that's what the
No.
struggle is today. I apologize.
No, it's okay.
Mm.
Slurp your water.
I'll
You,
try to do better.
you dry little bitch.
Desert throat, basically.
In Dicksfield, the desert of Dicksfield. Also, I just want to flag it's 69 days to Halloween. Ah,
Ooh. 69
69.
kids.
I'm just going to start saying how many days till Halloween every episode. So buckle
Okay,
up.
that sounds good. I like that.
Spooky bitches.
Yep.
And what a way to start with a bang.
Yep, I love
69.
it.
And like a
69.
boink.
Start off with a boink.
I'm an idiot. I'm so sorry.
Her mind is in
God
the
damn
gutter
it.
today.
Literally, always.
Okay, so yeah, they were asking, how are the ghosts doing? And then when the inn finally opened, the guests started reporting strange incidents, so Cook felt compelled to investigate further. So, thankfully, there were these great, extensive historical records of the house and the town, and Cook was able to find info about the original Marshes that lived there.
Mm.
So, Albion and Matilda were the.
Albion.
No, I've never heard that name. Albion. I assume it's
That's
Albion, but
something. Yeah,
um,
it sounds like it.
Al and Matilda, they were
Ow.
the patriarch and the matriarch, and they had
Okay.
two daughters, one Chestina and one named
Oh,
Marjorie. And
cute.
Cook calls Chestina her Black Widow because she had two husbands within a short period of time, both
Had
of
a girl.
whom died suddenly under mysterious circumstances. So who knows what she was up
Okay.
to. But
Mm.
she said that nowadays Al frequents the upstairs hallways, so presumably he's the big man that she mentioned in the Airbnb listing, but you never know.
Mm-hmm.
And Marjorie prefers to spend time in the guest rooms, so she's usually the one that guests report encounters with.
Okay.
So this next part is not at all in the historical record. It has been
Mm.
pieced together through paranormal investigations that Cook has done with psychics and mediums, etc. So during these investigations, they found that there are spirits of children in the house. But officially, no children of this family, are listed anywhere in the records.
Huh.
So they were guessing that maybe these children are illegitimate children of
Oh,
Chestina and Marjorie, who hid the children away and never reported them on the census or anything. Um,
interesting.
and their theory about this continued to grow when they discovered a secret room that was uncovered during the renovation of the barn. So her thought was that that might have been the place where the children were sequestered. And
Oh.
the names that come to the people that are investigating are Faith and David. So again, this is all coming from paranormal investigations.
Yeah, yeah.
But they believe that Faith was Chestina's daughter, and one psychic who visited the home sensed that Faith either fell or was pushed out of the barn
Oh,
window by
no.
someone named Annette.
Who
And
the fuck's
later,
Annette?
it turns out Albion's sister was named Annette. So
Did they
her,
know that?
it didn't say, but I might guess not.
Oh.
I don't know. Maybe that's just what
Oh,
I want to
that's
believe.
weird, though.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yep. So, yeah, then David is thought to be Marjorie's son, and
Okay.
the paranormal investigators sense that he drowned in the well that was once located on the property.
Oh,
So they both had untimely deaths. So now back to the story. After that
okay.
interview, Peters, the reporter, she
Okay.
joined the group for the ghost hunting portion. It started with an uneventful seance in the sitting room before they went up to the guests' rooms to set up their
An
equipment.
uneventful seance. I mean, that's
Yeah,
unusual.
I know. I mean, I think it was just like the medium who was conducting it was
Mhm.
getting messages, but nobody else was feeling anything
Yeah.
because it was open to the public. So it was like
Okay. Yeah, that
just
makes
some
sense.
looky loos or whatever.
Looky
Like you and
loos.
I coming in
Literally
fascinated.
us. It's us.
Yeah. But okay, so then the team set up their equipment. They used audio recorders, something called an ovilus, which I had never heard of,
Mm-mm.
and spirit boxes. So
Love
an
those.
yeah, an ovilus uses measurements from EMF meters and cross-references them with databases of words. So they think it's a way
Oh.
to give voice to entities that
Oh,
don't
that's
have a
cool.
voice. Yeah. And then spirit boxes are similar, but they're made using radios that have the scan lock disabled. So they just cycle through
Mm,
all
interesting.
AM, FM frequencies continuously.
Hmm.
And they also think that that's entities can use that raw audio or like the white noise and static to manipulate it to communicate with the living.
Yeah. Okay,
So
that makes sense.
yeah, those specifics are kind of over my head, but I wanted to include that because they're important later on.
Okay.
So, the regular audio recordings, nothing special from those, but at one point, one of the spirit boxes clearly
Boxies.
boxies clearly said the name Annette again. So
Okay.
Annette is somewhere in this house. Um, and
Uh,
shortly after that, the ovilus pipes up and says shamed. So remember that
okay.
maybe Annette pushed the
Yeah.
daughter out of the barn. So that's a pretty
Hmm.
shameful thing to do.
Yeah, 100%. What the fuck?
So maybe that's what that was. But um, next thing, they focused on the second spirit box that they had, which was smaller and actually
Mhm.
attached to headphones that were worn
Mm.
by a spirit box interpreter, which is like, how did you get that job? Because I'd
Yeah,
like it.
what?
um,
Same.
yeah. So,
You're like, it sounds like he's saying great popsicle.
yeah.
Could he be
But
saying something more meaningful? Yeah, but sounds a lot like grape popsicle to me.
there are people who are like, it sounds like, and they're like, oh my God, she said, I'm over here. It's
Yeah,
like, no.
that's not what he said.
But yeah, so hopefully
God damn it.
she or he, whoever was wearing it, actually was hearing these things because the conversation that they had went like this. So they direct these questions at the spirit box and then the
Okay.
interpreter answers. So they asked, can you tell me about the little boy that went into the well? And the spirit box says, or the interpreter says, for
Yeah.
shame, immediately.
Oh.
And
Oh.
then they ask, did someone kill the little boy?
Ugh.
And a second or two afterwards, the interpreter says, little. And then question
Mm.
again, was it an accident? And there is a long pause here, maybe 30 seconds. Then four words come in quick succession. Outside the well, jumped. So they ask,
Oh.
so it wasn't on purpose, the little boy fell. There's another pause and then jumped accident. So his death was
Interesting.
probably just an accident.
Okay, well, that's positive, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. So after they conclude the investigation, the reporter goes to bed. She says that the only thing that happens is she hears knocking in the night, though she's not entirely sure if she was awake or asleep,
Mm.
because she also had two incidents of sleep paralysis in the night.
No.
So
Okay. Immediately
that's,
no.
yeah. So she said she had
Oh,
experienced
God.
sleep paralysis on and off before, but that was the first time that happened to her in 2 years, was when she stayed the night there. So
I mean,
kind of
I mean, I
odd.
guess if you're like stressed,
Hmm.
but I don't know. I don't love it. I don't
Yeah.
love it.
Or yeah, your mind is just primed to be scared, maybe. I don't know.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
still a little strange.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah. Um so the night ends, she goes home, but the story's not over. So
Okay.
she wrote that at the end of the ghost hunt, the medium gave her a reading and she brought up something about the reporter's eyes, like something about them getting damaged or hurt. And the medium also told her to verbally request that no spirits follow her home, which the writers,
Oh.
yeah, the writers said she did it, but I'm not so sure.
Not what you want to hear. Not what you want
No,
to fucking hear.
no. So, about 10 days after she returned home, Peter's eyelids became really dry, really red, and extremely inflamed to the point that she couldn't open her eyes. So, she went to see a doctor and they don't know the cause of the problem.
Oh my God. No.
Yeah, I know. So
I don't
weird.
like eye things. They freak me out.
And also, it was like predicted, basically, that
Right.
medium saw it coming.
If someone was like, shit's gonna happen to your eyes, I'd be like, and
No.
I'm out of here. Like, goodbye forever. I quit.
Just
Fuck
living
you.
in anticipation.
I don't believe in any of y'all.
No.
Yeah. Hell to the no.
It's over.
What's that like TikTok sound that's like, hell to the nah, to the nah, nah, nah. That would be me walking the fuck out of that place.
Just for the rest of your life. Your theme song. Yep.
Hell to the nah. To the nah, nah, nah.
Love it. Okay, so yeah, her eyes. Then another thing that happened is she just decided to randomly open that Ovilus app that was on her phone.
For fuck's sake.
And she just had it on in the background while she was writing and working in her apartment. And she said it was silent for so long that she forgot it was on, but it suddenly said Dixie, which the inn is in Dicksfield. Then it said serious, then it said pushed, which Faith, the daughter, may have been pushed out of that window. And then the last thing it says is the word scary. And then she just turned it off for good. She's like, I can't open it again.
So. I kind of want the app. Is that bad?
No, I was curious. She said there's a ton of them if you just search Ovilus, Ovilus.
Ovilus. Okay.
Let's see.
Is this a bad idea?
Maybe. Ovilus. I don't know.
Oh, Hope Spirit Box, ghost hunting tools. Oh, and it like will translate the word for you.
Yeah. Kind of cool.
Oh God, you can get those ones that do your like body image in like a stick figure form that like Ghost Adventures does.
Yeah. Weird.
And people like standing on your head. Not getting that.
No. Maybe
I want it, but I'm like,
I don't know if I want to know. I don't want to hear anything come out of it.
The thing is that I live in like almost a brand new condo, so
yeah, maybe it'd be okay for you. I don't know if I want to do it here because I live in my grandma's old house. So
that's okay.
Yeah, I'll pass on that.
But no for me, dog.
Yeah. Isn't that a good one? Like, whoa. I couldn't believe that story. Okay. So, are we ready to move down to Georgia? Yes.
Never went down to Georgia. Okay.
Are we ready? Heading on down to Georgia.
Heading on down to Georgia. Okay.
All right.
the whip of the wrist.
It's all in the wrist.
Oh, it's so dumb.
Oh, God.
Oh, shit, I missed this.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, sorry, Georgia. Let's fucking go.
Yep, I'm not going to say it again. We're in Georgia.
We're in Georgia now.
Specifically in Savannah, Georgia. And
I like how you said it with an accent.
I think that comes out. We did an episode on Savannah.
Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah,
we did.
But it just it comes out because of The Office. Like there's a murder in Savannah, and that's just it has to come out with the accent.
That's so funny. Oh God. Okay, tell me about the ghostes.
All right. So, specifically beyond Savannah, we are specifically in the Marshall House. um, and, excuse me, the Marshall House is the oldest operating hotel in the city. So, it definitely has its stories. So,
100% dead people.
yes.
Dead people everywhere.
Yep. Dead residents everywhere. Um, so Mary Marshall built the Marshall House in 1851, and 10 years after it was built, the Civil War started, and Union soldiers occupied the hotel and probably still do. Spooky. Um,
Spooky.
and at that time, one of the upstairs floors of the hotel and the basement were used as makeshift surgery rooms for treating
What?
wounded soldiers.
Nope.
Um, yeah. And during the 1990s, when the hotel was being remodeled, workers that were replacing the floor in the basement found tons of bones under the floorboards. And the renovations were halted because they did a full investigation thinking it was a crime scene. But
Of
it turned
course.
out that it was most likely bones from
Soldiers.
amputated limbs of soldiers.
Oh, not
So,
even dead soldiers, but just
no,
their
limbs
limbs.
that were just tossed aside, pretty much. So
Oh, oh,
interesting. Yeah.
that is horrifying.
Yeah. It reminds me of what is the little hand in
And Adam's
yeah.
family, thing?
Yeah, I think it is a thing.
Thing.
It's like limbs haunting the hotel. Oh yeah. That's it crawling around.
ASMR. Welcome. Spooky
Yep.
ASMR.
We should do a
Wait,
whisper episode.
I'm so sorry, but quick tangent. Did you see they're coming out with the Wednesday movie?
Oh yeah, I did.
It looks
Gonna be
so
good.
cute. And Catherine Zeta-Jones is in it. I was like,
Oh
I think
yeah,
I want to be the mom for Halloween. What's her name?
Morticia.
Morticia?
hmm That's a great
I'm putting it
costume.
on my list. That would be such a good costume. And it'd
Yeah.
be easy. Because I could just
hmm
like I'm not gonna give it away,
Yeah.
okay, everyone? So don't bite off my
Yeah.
idea, biters.
Don't steal the idea.
Biters. What am I, 12?
Copycat.
Copycat.
Okay. So yeah, bones everywhere. Uh
Immediately, my first thought was boners everywhere. Dicksfield.
Dicksfield boners. That's their high school
Yes. So
mascot.
sorry.
The Dicksfield boners.
So dumb.
Yeah.
69 days to Halloween, kids.
Oh man.
God
We
damn
are
it.
12.
We're unhinged.
Mhm.
Really. Oh, well.
Yep. Okay. So on the fourth floor of the hotel, which is that upper floor that I mentioned that also was used for treating injured soldiers, guests and staff still encounter really foul odors like that of rotting flesh.
Come on.
Which apparently the smell comes and goes, but when it's around, there's no deodorizer known to man that is able to
Oh.
tame it. So it's just there.
Oh. I
Yeah.
wonder how long it's like lingers for. That's
I don't
gross.
know. I know, but it's like you probably can't rent out those rooms when it smells like flesh.
No way.
Disgusting.
Oh God. Flesh.
Gross. Yeah, no. Um, Now, two quick specific stories from this hotel. First, there's a large painting of Mary Marshall, the builder, or the original owner, I should say, of the hotel that hangs at reception. And a man and his daughter went down to the front desk to check out of the hotel. And when his daughter pointed at the or his daughter saw the painting and pointed at it, and she said, "Hey, that's the woman we just passed in the hallway."
Ooh,
So,
that gives me goosebumps.
yeah.
Ooh, that really gives me goosebumps. Ooh.
So Mary might still be around. And then another very famous story for people that know about this hotel was that a mom and her son were staying there, and her son was in the bathroom, and she could hear him playing and talking to himself, she thought, in the bathroom. But suddenly he came running out and he said, "The boy bit me." And she said, "What boy?" Since he
Oh my
was
God.
her only child. And he replied, "The one I was playing with in the bathroom." um,
No, that's
yeah,
okay. Time
no,
to check out.
yeah. So she went into the bathroom, and of course, no one was in there. So she examined her son where he said he had been bitten, and there actually was a child sized bite mark on him. Um, and she reported that to staff, and they said that's not the first time this has happened. Um, and usually
Oh,
yeah, yikes, the bite marks are on parts of the body that somebody wouldn't be able to reach with their own mouth. So, like on their
yeah,
back or something. Yeah.
yeah.
So creepy.
Oh my God. Ooh, that really kind of like gives me the wig, that one.
Yeah. Mm-mm. Getting bitten by a ghost. No,
A
thank
ghost
you.
boy, like just like
Yeah.
a ghost child.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Also, like, why you biting? Like,
Yeah.
who
I
raised
don't
you?
know. Mm, I know. He needs some manners.
Manners,
Manners, you ghost boy. Okay.
you ghost boy.
Then this last one, it's not even on theme. It's not even a hotel, but I
All
just
good.
have to say it.
Tell me, tell
And
me.
maybe you already know it, but in 1987, in Atlanta, Georgia, there was an elderly couple at home one evening, and I'm not going to
Uh-oh.
use their names because this was a really public story, but they seem to not want to be associated with it anymore, so we'll keep it anonymous. But the wife was taking a bath and her husband was asleep. But when the wife stepped out of the bath, she felt something warm and sticky on her feet. And she looks down and sees that the floor is covered in blood that's like coming up from the floor.
Oh,
Yeah. So she wakes up her husband, and as they walk through the house, they see that it's not just in the bathroom. It appears to be coming up from the floors and even dripping down the walls throughout the house. So the wife said that in places it was like a sprinkler spraying up from the floors. So
oh,
they're like, "What is happening?" The husband is on dialysis, which, of course, purifies blood in patients with failing kidneys. So their
yeah.
immediate thought is that his dialysis machine was leaking or something,
I
but it
mean,
wasn't. Yeah. And also, how would that even be possible?
a stretch, but
Yeah.
okay.
Yep. So they check that. They then are like, hopefully, this is just water from rusty pipes or something, but they're not sure what to do and they can't identify a source. So they call the police. The police come. They also are totally stumped. So they take a sample of the liquid or the blood, and it's later confirmed that it is human blood that's spewing out of the house.
Okay, so it wasn't like it was just the two of them who saw it. Like they had other people
Yeah.
come in and were like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, that's weird."
Yeah. Yeah. They saw it, and there's newspaper articles about it. The police are like, "We know that houses don't bleed, so this is now
Oh,
a crime scene because we don't know what's happening." And the lab confirmed it was human blood, and they were even able to tell that it was type O blood. Um,
whoa.
and yeah, so we don't know still. There was no body found. They don't know what it was. They treated it as a crime scene, but there's still nothing to say what it really was, which, of course, is what perks up all the paranormal believers out there. I don't know exactly what it means, but blood coming out of the house seems inexplicable to me. And
Oh my
also,
god.
people who are skeptical tried to point to tension in the relationship between the couple and their children,
Mm,
like a
what?
ploy for more attention from each other. But it's like,
Okay.
Did you ever, where do you get all that blood, first of all? And
Yeah,
why does
what?
your thought go like, oh, I'm going to play a prank on my parents and pour blood all over their
More
house?
blood
Like,
everywhere? That's
sicko.
horrible.
Yeah. So I don't think that. And also, if it was the dialysis machine, it's definitely not actually because the husband's blood type was
Not
type A
oh,
and not
right.
O. So just had to share that because I was like astounded. What is
I wonder if
that?
there's I want okay, so there are two follow-up things. One, I wonder if there's anything more about like what has happened in that house since. Like, are they still living there? Obviously they don't want to be like public, but
Hmm.
like,
They're
has anything else
not.
happened in that house?
They're both, they've passed away since then.
Oh, sad.
And as far as
R.I.P.
I can tell, it's just
They
a
haunt the house now.
residential home now. um, like
That they
they,
haunt.
yeah, you never know. But
Obviously.
they published the address and everything. Like you can find it
Oh,
online, which
Jesus
house it
Christ.
was. So, and it's on Zillow. And
So my other question, unrelated to this story, but going back to Maine,
mhm.
as you all must know by now, I'm a Stephen King mega fan.
Mhm.
So, if you have read any Stephen King, you know that he bases most of his books in Maine. And a lot of them are in Derry in Maine, but they're also all over the place. Like, there's kind of like, you know how we have like the MCU, like Marvel Comics universe.
Mhm.
Stephen King like has like an SKU. Like, it's like he
Yeah.
has like a universe because he'll reference in like Salem's Lot, he'll reference Derry, or I think in Bag of Bones he references Derry where it takes place, and like in I think in other ones he references um uh Jerusalem's Lot, where obviously Salem's Lot takes place. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know, like it's really interesting, and I want to say he's from there. He's definitely from the Northeast, but I wonder like if there's a reason, like why do all of his stories kind of originate there? Is it just because
Hmm.
it's what he knows, or is it because like a lot of scary shit has happened there? Is it like witch trials kind of
Hmm.
stuff, or is it, I don't know. I'm very
True.
curious about that.
Yeah.
So I should look that up for the next episode because, like,
Yeah.
honestly, I'm obsessed with him anyway. So
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
want to know.
Check it
Your
out.
girl
That is
wants to know.
interesting.
Yeah.
I, yeah, I feel like the East Coast has a vibe to it. Spooky season
Mm-hmm.
all year long, basically.
Spooky season year round.
Yeah. So,
Um, and with that,
yeah. Here
we are
we go.
going to move on to another top to bottom combo, New York and Florida.
Florida.
So we're starting in New York with the Shanley Hotel, which is in the
Oh.
Catskills. So I'm going to read the account of Alexandra Cheriton, who is a writer for Road Trippers magazine, which is actually really cute. It's like a really cute magazine. If
Oh.
you're into travel and if you're into like, especially like cross country US travel, it's actually really cute. I kind of
Mm-hmm.
like went down a rabbit hole looking through their
Oh.
site.
Yeah.
This was posted in 2019 on October 30th. So it was like a Halloween themed kind of thing. But the
Mm-hmm.
title is I Didn't Believe in Ghosts Until I Spent a Night Alone at the Notoriously Haunted Shanley Hotel.
Ooh.
And I want to read the whole thing because she goes into a lot of detail and yeah,
Yeah.
gives you like some background and stuff. Okay.
Cool.
So this is Alexandra's article. As I'm driving the winding road to the Shanley Hotel, which sits in the foothills of the Shawangunk Mountains, Shaw, it's literally
Something like
spelled
that.
like Shawangunk. I
Showing
don't think
gunk.
that's, yeah, Shawangung. Shawangunk?
Oh.
Shawangunk. That's really
Showing
hard to
gunk.
say.
Yeah.
Anyway, so sorry that I'm butchering that. It's in upstate New York, okay?
Yeah.
I passed several abandoned motels, 2 active correctional facilities, and the Witch's Hole State Forest, which, note to
Yeah.
self,
Mm-hmm.
investigate.
Sounds cool.
The view from Ulster County's US Route 209, also known as the Clayton Peg Leg Bates Memorial Highway is beautiful all year round, but especially in the fall. It's late in October and the leaves have just begun to change. If I didn't already have a reservation, I might have been concerned when I pull up to the hotel at dusk. At first glance, the 3-story white clapboard structure, which is like my favorite of the New England style homes. It's like such a hocus pocus vibe, and I freaking love it. And most of Main Street in the tiny hamlet of Napanock looks abandoned. I'm checking into the allegedly haunted hotel in search of ghosts, and I don't have to wait long to find one. A freshly painted sign on the porch that reads, "Welcome to the Shanley Hotel," prominently features a ghost. His arms are crossed, but he's smiling. And he looks like Casper. He's really sassy and cute. So we'll post a picture of him. Mm-hmm. In contrast to the dilapidated exterior, the inside of the hotel is bustling. 2 couples check in ahead of me, and when I step up to the counter, manager Kim Vital asks how many people are in my party. "Just me," I say. A woman behind me gasps. "You're brave," she says, shaking her head. I don't think that checking into a haunted hotel by myself is particularly brave, but that might be because I don't actually believe in ghosts, at least not fully. I'm skeptical, but I try to keep an open mind. I don't go looking often, but I would love to discover concrete evidence of the spirit world, and it seems as if I've come to the right place. The Shanley Hotel has more than embraced its spooky reputation. Now officially called the Haunted Shanley Hotel, they offer private investigations, provide a list of the most haunted rooms, and share evidence in the forms of videos and electronic voice phenomenon, or EVP, recordings. A stained glass window above the entrance declares, "The spirits are in." INN. Cute.
How cute.
In addition to a continental breakfast, my overnight stay includes a 5-hour staff-led paranormal investigation from 8 p.m. until 1 a.m., followed by free time to investigate at my leisure. They provide equipment, flashlights, K2 EMF meters, vibration balls, temperature sensors, frequency scanners, and encourage guests to bring their own. And she took some really stunning photos of details of the inside. So we'll definitely put these on our Instagram because it's really, really cute.
Cool.
Nothing is faked or staged here, Vital says. There's no need to fake anything. If the ghosts and spirits want to come out and speak, we're happy. We'll get just as excited as you do, but we don't rig anything. There are a few ground rules, but they're simple. No weapons or alcohol are allowed on the premises. Guests should talk in a normal voice. Whispering may be mistaken for an EVP. Take photos with flash and in threes and record everything. It's okay to be a skeptic and a non-believer, but I just ask that you keep an open mind, Vital says. The hotel is fully booked for the night and for the rest of October, so we split into groups of 3. I've booked Maddie's room. They all have names on them. I've booked Maddie's room, located in the former Bordello area on the 2nd floor, and I'm the only guest flying solo. My room is part of the active investigation area, meaning that the door must remain open until 1 a.m. And it's dilapidated from the outside, but you can see that it was a really beautiful New England style home originally. It just needs a fresh paint job. A facelift. The rooms are cozy and eclectic. In fact, the scariest thing at the Shanley Hotel might just be the overload of contrasting patterns. My room alone has 3 different wallpapers. Plaids and florals cover nearly every surface, and each room's floor is hand painted with a different stenciled design. Vital and the hotel's new owner, Kelly Hammerling, conducted ghost investigations on the property for years before it became their full-time jobs. When people suggest that the pair is being paid to perpetuate the hotel's haunted reputation, Vital tells them, "I was here 8 years and I didn't get a dime. Kelly and I did it every weekend because we loved it and had the passion for it, for the history and the spirits and what goes on behind these doors." So in 1845, Thomas Rich erected his eponymous Rich Hotel on Napanock's Main Street. The hotel changed owners several times through the years, and in 1895, a fire destroyed the entire original structure. The hotel was quickly rebuilt and reopened to guests just a few months later. James Shanley, who was an Irish immigrant, purchased the hotel in 1906 and added the barn-like addition onto the back. It initially housed a barber shop and later functioned as the gentlemen's quarters for the 2nd floor bordello. James married Beatrice Rowley at the hotel in 1910, and the Shanleys, who had ties to the Irish mafia, respect, were well known and respected in New York City, just 2 hours south of Napanock. Hammerling says that when Shanley descendants visited the hotel recently, they told her Times Square was almost named Shanley Square and claimed that the gangs of New York is loosely based on their family,
Oh,
which I love
interesting.
that. Such
Yeah.
an Irish thing to
Mhm.
do and say. Beatrice was good friends with Eleanor Roosevelt, and Thomas Edison stayed at the hotel. Their photographs of both displayed in the great room. So those are actually true facts.
Wow.
When the Shanleys got into trouble serving alcohol during the Prohibition, the Roosevelts helped clear their name. Today, the hotel has a Roosevelt room in their honor, which
Oh,
is like kind of cool just historically.
yeah, it is.
The Shanleys were known for their elaborate parties, but there was tragedy too. The couple had 3 children, but none of them survived longer than a few months, which
Oh,
is
very
kind
sad.
of devastating.
Mhm.
Rosie, the 3-year-old daughter of the Shanley Hotel's resident barber, fell down a nearby well and died.
Hmm.
In 1915, Dr. Walter Nelson Thayer Jr. was backing his car out of the alley between his home and the hotel and ran over his 5-year-old son.
Oh no.
The boy didn't die from his injuries, but he's said to haunt the hotel to this day. So it
Hmm.
was like just a traumatic
Yeah.
event. Yeah.
Yeah.
A local preacher's daughter, Helen, was only 9 years old when she was lured with the promise of a lollipop to a nearby swamp and murdered by Alfred Volkman, the son of a butcher. Volkman spent some time in Hudson Valley's notorious Sing Sing prison before he was executed, but both spirits are reportedly still frequent guests at the Shanley. And like
Mm.
encountering Helen, fine, but Alfred,
Mm-mm.
no thanks.
No.
When Helen asked for a pink dress, Hammerling obliged. It currently hangs in the room in which Beatrice's sister, Esther, died. So there's
Hmm.
all this like weird
Yeah.
intertwined history of death and
Mm-hmm. Too much
descendants
to,
and
yeah,
yeah,
coincidence.
it's weird.
Hmm.
Over the years, Hammerling, who's the new owner, says she has made contact with more than 30 different spirits. They come and go, she says. We may hear from some for 4 or 5 days straight and then not hear from them for weeks. We don't know why. We don't know where they go. If we knew that, we'd be dead. um,
Interesting.
they have a lot of dolls in the great room and also toys, which include dolls in Rosie's room, and it's creepy as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Vital says that they know most of the spirits by name, including Frank, who worked as a bodyguard at the bordello, and Joe, a hitman for the mafia. There's a man who whistles, several children, even a ghost cat named Sweet Thing.
Oh, sweet thing.
Sweet Thing! I was like, that's the cutest name. That's the name you give like a stray cat that
Yeah.
comes around.
Aw.
It's nice. It's cute.
Yeah. I wonder,
Um,
how do animals become ghosts? I
I
mean,
don't know. I
like,
don't know. I mean, we've talked a little bit about like Sugar, like
yeah.
one of my childhood dogs, like
Hmm.
having like a residual energy for sure. But I don't think she was a ghost. Like I think
Yeah.
she like got to where she was going pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But literally Binks has like face down in my hand. He's
Aw.
sitting on my lap. He wants to be pet, and I am petting
Yeah.
him, but he wants
Do it
more.
better.
Do it better. Um Recently, a guest asked Frank, who was the bodyguard, how he died, and according to Vital, he replied, a gunshot in the pub. Hammerling says that Frank has strangled her twice, and when she
Whoa.
told a group, he replied via EVP, "You liked it." Get it,
That's
Frank!
right on theme of today.
That line, I cackled. I was researching this at work. I hope
Hmm.
my manager's not listening to this. I was
Oops.
researching this at work, and I mean, it took me like, it was like 15 minutes
Yeah.
maybe, but just to be clear,
Yeah.
I cackled. I
Yeah.
cackled at my desk. My coworkers were like, "Are you good?" I was like, "You liked it."
You liked it.
And Hammerling says that's the kind of sense of humor Frank has. Vital and Hammerling clearly appreciate all of their guests, both physical and metaphysical, and are humble about the chain of command. This is an actual haunted hotel, and we respect our spirits, Vital says. This isn't our home. This is their home.
Oh, wow.
So the hotel spirits, all of them, all 30 of them, or maybe more, are
Mhm.
known for producing some very clear EVPs, even if it's not always obvious during the nightly ghost hunts. So searching for spirits can be hit or miss, and there's no money back guarantee for their guests. Hammerling says, they could be here talking to us right now and we wouldn't know until we play back the recording. We don't know why some nights have a tremendous amount of activity and some nights are quiet. Over the 5 hours, our group has little success. So this is going back to Alexandra's experience.
Mm-hmm.
Flashlights flicker and a few unintelligible words emerge through the white noise. And I begin to think it's my fault. Apparently, when it comes to ghost hunting, skeptics are bad for business. After a particularly quiet stretch, Vital asks if there's a skeptic in our group. I stay silent, but later I ask her why the presence of a skeptic may negatively affect a hunt's outcome. The spirits just won't bother, she says. But they don't want to prove they exist, I ask. It takes a lot of energy to contact us, Vital says. They don't want to waste their time, and ghosts have nothing to prove.
Interesting.
Hammerling encourages us to engage with but not provoke the spirits. You want them to think, wow, these people are great. Let's take our time and energy to actually talk to these people, she says. Hammerling and Vital use several pieces of equipment in hopes of capturing viable evidence. Each has her own REM pod, which uses a mini telescopic antenna to radiate its own independent magnetic field around an object. In this case, a stuffed dog. Hammerling's looks like a beagle and Vital's looks like a chihuahua, but we have little success with either. We seem to have the most luck with the tablet running the Phasma Box app, which scans through several pre-recorded radio stations in search of voices.
Like a spirit box.
Yeah, exactly. Although Hammerling cautions that, quote, not everything you hear through the Phasma Box is paranormal. She urges us to listen for intelligent responses to specific questions. What can be considered intelligent, like most things during the night, is also up for interpretation.
Yeah.
Although ghost hunting is usually done at night, the spirits are here in the daytime as well, Hammerling says. It doesn't matter what time of day it is, but the dark lets you focus. Your senses are heightened in the dark. There's less contamination from the outside world, including light and sound. We're sitting in a circle and someone across from me gets full body chills twice, but other groups report even more activity, including hearing Sweet Thing, the cat, who died of natural causes in Claire's room, meow several times. We ask Joe questions about his history with the mafia. How many people have you killed? What's your weapon of choice? And finally, why don't you like women, Joe? With no response. At one point, Hammerling thinks she hears someone say, hi, Karen, but there is no Karen in our group. So shortly after Hammerling and her husband purchased the hotel, he was cutting wood in broad daylight when he yelled for his wife. He wouldn't say why he called my name. I thought he cut himself, Hammerling says. But 3 weeks and 3 drinks later, he admitted that he had been spooked by the sight of a mysterious woman who appeared next to him. And he's a skeptic, or was a skeptic, I should say, Hammerling says. In the hotel's great rooms, stacks of composition notebooks contain notes from previous guests. Quote, had a lovely New Year's Eve in Anna's room, Anna and Tim write. Awakened at dawn by a scratching at the window. A friendly squirrel or ... Another page contains a sketch of one of the hotel's beds. An arrow points to a figure looming nearby, and the guest writes, she is always watching.
No. I don't want that one.
Whether someone is watching or not, when 1 a.m. rolls around, I'm ready for bed. I slide under the covers, close my eyes, and fall asleep quickly. However, around 2:30 a.m., I jolt awake. My heart is racing and my body is racked with chills. I switch on the light and pile on more blankets, but my teeth keep chattering uncontrollably. I take deep breaths and eventually fall back into a fitful sleep, but the light stays on till morning. I'm not entirely sure how to explain what happened to me in Maddie's room that night, so when Hammerling and Vital inquire about how I slept, I once again stay quiet. I may not be ready to admit that what I experienced was paranormal, but I also no longer feel confident enough to declare myself a true skeptic.
Oh, interesting.
I just loved it because I felt like it was so like, I don't know, it's like it's not entirely, like she's not fully sold, but it's weird enough that she's like, and it's like, you know, she would have said, if she's already a skeptic, she would have said like, they clearly cranked up the AC or whatever, you know, like if it wasn't that cold in the room.
Yeah, right.
That
is interesting.
And she clearly wasn't sick the next day. So I found a couple other articles that reference just like other things visitors have reported over the years. Rocking chairs seen rocking on their own, mysterious clock chimes, like out of time and from clocks that don't seem to be in the house.
Weird.
Cold and hot spots, whistling, footsteps, piano music, voices, the laughing of children, even the aromas of cooking when no food is being prepared. A lot of people have seen shadows and apparitions, people standing over their bed or standing beside them. and report the feeling of being watched.
Hmm.
It was featured, the Shanley Hotel was featured on Ghost Lab and Ghost Hunters. And there's like a little, like on this one article, there was a little, it's called hauntedhistorytrail.com. They had a little like plug that was like refreshments served during ghost hunts / investigations, continental breakfast with an overnight stay. I was like, that's so cute.
That is cute. Advertising.
Yeah. Advertising. Okay, so that is the Shanley Hotel, which I just thought was like, that's like exactly the kind of ghost experience I would want. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want anything much scarier than that.
Yeah, that's pretty
But
harmless.
I love it.
And
Yeah.
kind of charming in that setting.
Yeah, very charming. So I have a few other just like kind of quickies.
Okay.
So the Naples Hotel, also in the Finger Lakes region of Naples. It's Naples, New York. So originally it was built as Lion Tavern in 1818. All of these are so old.
Yeah.
I mean, by US standards. Just a mile south of the original pioneer settlement in Naples, the Naples Hotel is steeped in history. Featuring 32 rooms, including guest rooms, a restaurant, and a basement bar, the Naples Hotel is perfect for an incredible paranormal weekend. The hotel is said to be home to several spirits, including a ghost known as Topper. Whispers, unexplained movement, and artwork. That would scare the shit out of me.
Weird.
That would scare the shit out of me. Don't love that. Unexplained movement and artwork, lights flickering, televisions turning on and off, or coat hangers inexplicably dangling from the bathroom ceiling light. All have occurred at this ghostly destination. Managers and staff have shared reports of apparitions they've heard over the years. Resident ghost Alice sitting in the front dining room while her 2 ghostly children have been seen peering out the upstairs window. 2 men haunting one of the hotel rooms who regularly flicker flashlights, a woman in a room at the front of the hotel filling the space with her lilac scent, and a Civil War soldier who was seen descending the basement steps. Most recently, the owners of the hotel discovered a door on the 3rd floor that had locked itself from the inside.
Spooky.
Spooky.
Yes.
Which the flashlights turning on and off remind me, there's this woman who has become pretty famous on TikTok because she has a ghost whose name is, she named him Chad. And he seems to be like a frat boy, basically. Like a dead
you sent me
frat boy.
A video of that.
It is actually one of the most heartwarming things. And like people are like, is this for real? And like he'll turn lights on and off, like the flashlight on and off. She'll use the rods, what are those called? Like dowering rods or something like that. I can't remember the name.
No.
Yeah, something.
I don't know.
It's got some kind of funny name.
Divining rods. Those are like a weather.
Maybe that's it.
Weather thing.
Yeah, okay, it's not that.
I can't remember. I don't know.
I can't remember either. Anyway, she uses those rods that are like yes is crossed and no is apart or whatever. And yeah, it's just so funny. And people are like, are you like creeped out by Chad? And she's like, no, it kind of feels like just like having a friend. And he'll like have opinions about the guys she dates and like help her get dressed for a date. And like they have this like little series. I say they.
Yeah.
She has this series. They have this series where like he picks what kind of alcohol they're going to take a shot of while she gets ready for something or while she asks him questions. Like, it's really cute. Like it's just really cute. So if you haven't checked it out,
wow.
Chad the ghost.
Yeah.
I think she calls it chatting. Like
chatting.
CHADDING. It's cute. So I've got a couple more. So Burnbrae Mansion, this is also in the Catskills in Glens Bay, New York. Burnbrae Mansion was built in 1908 by Margaret Mackenzie Elkin. Also, I love that so many of these old buildings were built by women, like back in the day. It's like, get it, sis?
Yeah. That is cool.
I love it. It was part of the estate of George Roche Mackenzie, 3rd president of the Singer Sewing Machine Company, which is kind of cool, who made his fortune as confidant and advisor to Isaac Merritt Singer, the company's founder. And there's a ton of history about the mansion, but I won't get too much into it. It's very rich in history. It was built a very long time ago, but it was recently restored for its 100-year anniversary, so in 2008. Following the renovations, the original servants' quarters, now named Singer's Suite and Elkin Room, and the adjoining guest rooms, now named the Mackenzie Suite, were opened to the public. Shortly after reopening, overnight guests began reporting mysterious sights and sounds during their visit. Further research revealed a history of such reports and subsequently spurred curiosity about the previous occupants of Burnbrae. Burnbrae Mansion has been the subject of numerous paranormal investigations and can be booked by ghost hunting groups for private research upon request and availability. Linda Blair from The Exorcist says Burnbrae Mansion is one of my favorite places to stay when I am up here, which is like funny that she's still like into it.
Yeah.
But it's weird because like you actually can't find a lot of detail about like what happened there. I mean, you have the history and like there's death in the house, of course, because it's from so long ago. But yeah, it's interesting. Like, what do people experience? They keep it kind of under wraps because I think they want you to come visit, see it for yourself.
That's also good advertising.
Absolutely. This one's kind of cute. So this is Allegiance Bed and Breakfast in Mount Morris, New York. The Allegiance is a beautiful, historic, and elegantly restored circa 1838 mini White House mansion. And it literally looks like kind of a mini White House. It's cute. Tastefully decorated to reveal the grandeur of the Victorian era, although its name honors Francis Bellamy, a local son who authored our Pledge of Allegiance. It's not Francis who frequently pays a visit. The inside is home to two friendly yet mischievous permanent residents, Karen and Raymond. In parentheses, don't call him Ray. He doesn't like it.
Found out the hard way.
Yeah, so cute. Karen has been spotted ascending the stairs a few times with her straight gray hair and long dress, and Raymond is known for being quite chatty, which I just thought was so cute. This one's a little darker. The historic hotel Broadalbin. This is in Broadalbin, New York, which is like Fulton County, Saratoga region of New York. It was formerly the Kenyato Inn. Has lived many lives as many things and definitely has seen its fair share of history. It started as a glove factory in 1854 before the building was transformed into a Keeley Cure Inebriate Hospital in 1895, a commercial medical operation that offered treatment to alcoholics. So cool, but also at the same time, you're like, that's never a good start.
Yeah.
So that was in 1895. In the summer of 1898, get ready, a sanatorium was conducted by Dr. H.C. Finch.
Of course.
This was most interesting due to his miracle cure called the Gold Cure by locals, which ended as a scam at the hospital.
Of course.
At one point, there were more than 200 of these operations thought to be a humane approach to alcoholism as a disease. However, the treatment was more than questionable and included injections of poisonous ingredients such as strychnine, alcohol, apomorphine, willow bark, ammonia, and atropine. Yikes. The injections were dissolved in red, white, and blue liquids, and the dosages varied. So just on top of all of those poisons, let's put some red and blue cancer-causing dye inside of you.
Great idea.
Yeah. In addition, patients would receive individually prescribed tonics every 2 hours throughout the day. Treatments lasted for a period of 4 weeks. Eventually, the mainstream medical profession stated that the, quote, cure was unmitigated charlatanry and quackery. That's a quote.
Quackery.
Yeah. As a result, some patients suffered blindness and severe chronic pain and even death. So could it be these unfortunates that still haunt the building? There are many accounts of weird shit happening. Visitors have seen soldiers standing at the top of the staircase, figures in the window, have felt something or someone poke them in the middle of the night, which no. Most recently, a lamp that has stood in the same place for over 5 years fell down as if pushed by an unseen force. So
that seems
lit.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Seems likely.
Seems
Just
likely.
suddenly fall for no reason.
So, yeah. So that's New York. And then we're
Mm-hmm.
just going to take a quick little jaunt down to Florida.
Florida.
So, Florida. So, in Key West, there is Marrero's Guest Mansion. Francisco Marrero built a beautiful Victorian style mansion in 1899 for his wife, Enriqueta, which I've never heard that name
Mm-mm.
before, and their 8 children. Poor Enriqueta.
No thanks.
Um, After Francisco's death, a woman showed up to their home and declared she was Francisco's first wife, whom he'd never divorced, and took over possession of the home, forcing Enriqueta and her children out of the home.
Oh no.
Rude.
Mm-hmm.
Cohabitate,
Yeah.
ladies. Come on. Today, Marrero's guest mansion is haunted by Enriqueta's spirit, it's believed.
Mm.
Guests have claimed to see her brushing her hair in the mirror, which would be so creepy,
Yeah.
or they've smelled her favorite lavender perfume.
Mm.
The sounds of children playing and babies crying are also heard throughout the mansion by both guests and employees. Enriqueta's bedroom once occupied guest rooms 23, 17, and 18, and they're reportedly the most haunted. So if you'd like to check it out for yourself, stay in one of those rooms.
Yeah. Cool.
St. Pete Beach, there is Loews Don Caesar. This is on St. Pete Beach. It's one of the most iconic hotels in Florida, known as the Pink Palace for its stunning Mediterranean revival architecture in pink stucco.
Ooh,
Classy.
lovely.
Yeah. Hashtag Florida.
Yeah, I was going to say only in Florida.
Yeah. The luxurious resort, originally built in the 1920s, is also known for being haunted by the man who built it, Thomas Rowe, and his forbidden love, Lucinda, which we love a forbidden love story.
Sure do.
The two, this is actually kind of sweet. The two are often seen walking the grounds, Thomas with a white suit and Panama hat, and Lucinda with her raven black hair. In the 1940s, the property also served as a VA hospital during World War II, and their spirits are known to haunt the grounds. So haunted by the builder, his forbidden love, and then also probably veterans who passed there.
Wow.
Back to Key West, La Concha Hotel, built in 1926. La Concha is one of Key West's most historic hotels. Located at the center of Duval Street at 6 stories high, it remains the tallest building on the island today. 6 stories.
Wow.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Key West, so kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Just be wary of ordering a glass of Chardonnay while on the property. There was once a rooftop bar where the spa is now located, and rumor has it that as many as 13 people have jumped off the roof committing suicide over the years. One such soul was drinking Chardonnay before leaping to his death, and his ghost still lunges for the wine today. That would be me.
Whoa.
Not the suicide part,
Yeah.
but lunging for the wine. I'd be like, gimme. Gimme.
In life and in death.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
The 5th floor and elevators are also said to be haunted since one man died when he fell down the elevator shaft in the 80s.
Yikes.
Okay, the Casa Monica Hotel in St. Augustine, which is the most historic city in Florida. And the Casa Monica Hotel originally opened in 1887 as the Cordova. This beautiful, again, Mediterranean revival hotel is rumored to be haunted by many ghosts from the 1920s. The most common sighting is that late at night, waltz music begins to play out of nowhere, and a room full of ghosts dressed in formal attire from the jazz age begin waltzing in the lobby.
That's cool.
I could die happy if I saw that firsthand.
I wouldn't mind.
Wow. I would join them. I'd be like, all right, every night, here's our jam. That's fucking dope.
That's like, you've seen Midnight in Paris, right?
Yes.
That just reminded me of that movie.
Absolutely. Yes.
So nice.
Back to Key West again. And this one is creepy as shit, mainly because of this photo, which we will absolutely post on the Instagram.
Okay.
One of the creepiest ghost stories in Key West involves a doll named Robert. Bad start.
Yeah.
Bad start.
Yep.
He's currently housed, I shouldn't say it is currently housed at the East Martello Towers Museum. What many people don't know is that Robert the doll, and that's hyperlinked, which I did not click on. Don't want to see.
No. Originally
lived at the Artist House in the 1890s when it was occupied by its original owners, the Ottos, and their son Gene. A nurse gave Gene a doll that he named Robert after his middle name. When this nurse was fired, many strange things involving Robert the doll began happening.
Oof.
Gene was haunted by nightmares. His room would be found in disarray, and strange voices were heard whenever the doll was around.
Ew.
When Otto eventually married, his wife Anne was disturbed by his his wife Anne was disturbed by his obsession with the doll and eventually went mad.
Oh.
Yikes.
Wow. She went mad.
People have spotted Anne's ghost in her wedding dress on the property, and guests report a generally eerie feeling at the hotel.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. 2 more. This one's in Ocala, Seven Sisters Inn. The Seven Sisters Inn isn't hiding the fact that their property is haunted by 7 spirits who guests and employees see regularly. In fact, they consider themselves the most haunted bed and breakfast in Florida. It's said to be haunted by its original owners, Emma and Ben Reinauer, as well as 3 playful children and a flirtatious spirit named George.
Oh.
Maybe I should go visit. The bed and breakfast is currently for sale, so if you've ever wanted to be the innkeeper of a haunted hotel, Amy, now's your chance. Actually, I don't know when this was written. Let's see.
I want to live in Florida.
Yeah, okay. You know what? Never mind.
Skip it.
I've
never been there, so I shouldn't judge.
Me neither. Lastly, Miami. The Biltmore Hotel in Coral Gables in Miami was built in 1926 and was one of Florida's most lavish resorts for the rich and famous. Celebrities like Ginger Rogers, Bing Crosby, Judy Garland, and the Duke and Duchess of Windsor were all former guests. During World War II, the hotel was turned into, of course, a hospital for wounded vets and remained one until the 1960s. The hotel reopened in 1987 and is once again considered one of the most glamorous hotels in Miami today. However, paranormal activities occur regularly on the property. The lights will dim or turn on out of nowhere, and doors will open and close without anyone there. There's also the spirit of a woman dressed in white who's known to haunt the guest rooms. The notorious gangster Fatty Walsh is also thought to haunt the hotel after he was murdered there in 1929.
Wow. Fatty Walsh.
Fatty Walsh.
Great name.
Rude. You're rude. But yeah, I feel like there's some good ones in there.
I agree.
And now I kind of want to visit Florida.
Yeah.
That's not why, for anyone from Florida listening, I do want to go to Miami.
I do
generally,
too.
But
Miami seems cool.
Yeah, it does seem cool. So, yeah, those are our spooky haunted hotels, you guys. How do we feel?
I love it.
How do we feel? I say, asking for a response. How do we feel, everyone?
Write us in.
Yeah, so we will let us know how you feel. We will include photos of a lot of creepy dolls. And also just like generally cool photos of the inside of this Shanley Hotel, which is funny that it's the Shanley and then there's also the Stanley.
I know.
Yeah. But buckle up, bitches, because this is a long re-entry back to live episodes. I love it. I've missed it so much.
Yeah. I think, this is a very good one to jump back into.
Yes, it was needed. So we hope you all enjoyed. We will be back next week with more.
Yes, we will.
In the meantime, stay
spooky. Bye.